This is your sample presentation for your Black History Month project. If you take my class on B-Day, your project is due February 26th. If you take my class on A-Day, your project is due February 27th. Now, to begin this sample project, I am going to start with a video. Keep in mind that if you use videos at any point in your presentation, the video footage should not exceed 2 minutes. If you look here, this video's time is at 3 minutes and 49 seconds. However, I'm not going to show you the entire clip because I want to stay in that 2-minute time frame.
It was the most widespread, most destructive racial violence in American history. White people driving through the riot area were considered fair game, whether young or old, men or women. Their cars were battered, the drivers stoned, kicked, and beaten, and the cars were burned. The mobs might groan and curse in disappointment when a white got away, and then cheer like a football crowd when a car went up in flames. The burning and looting, the shooting and beating went on for nearly a week. It began, as many race riots have begun, with the arrest of a Negro by white officers, right here at this corner. In this case, 2 young Negroes were stopped by California Highway Patrol and charged with drunk driving. There was a scuffle and a crowd gathered. The mother of the 2, they are brothers, joined in, and she and another woman the crowd thought was pregnant were pushed and shoved. Over and over, Negroes repeat the charge of police brutality. One who had pressed a number of brutality complaints and one of the most successful attorneys in Los Angeles is a Negro, Leo Branton. We asked him about the police claim that brutality charges are fully and fairly investigated.
Well, in theory, there are avenues of complaint open, but there are no meaningful avenues to redress the grievances of these people.
Now, before actually beginning your presentation, you want to give your classmates some background about the video that you chose to show if you show the video. Then you'll introduce your title page, Black History Month project. Now, this is my sample that I used with my 5th block. And then you will go on to start explaining your project. Now, if you use the project handout, which I gave you in class or you can find on our classroom website, I've literally logged each part of part 1 in order. So first you're going to address who was involved, and notice that each of my bullets is written in a complete sentence. The same is expected for you. Also, try to include pictures that will help make your slides come to life. If you choose to use a trifold board, you want that same effect. You want to use pictures that make your presentation inviting and engaging for your teacher and your classmates. So again, the headings and titles for each slide come directly from your project handout. Okay, so I'll just scroll through these because we've gone through them in class, and it's just a short example of what is expected for your presentation. Do not leave out any part of part 1 or part 2. Now, when you get to part 2 of your project, each member is responsible for individually presenting the section that they were assigned. For example, if I was assigned obstacles, or if my group chose for me to do obstacles, only I would present the obstacles of my event. The same thing goes for tactics, connections part 1, and connections part 2. You know that if you only have 3 members in your group, you are only responsible for connections to other events, not connections to current events. For part 2, you should focus on the examples that I gave you on each slide. You want your actual work to mirror the examples that were given. Notice the examples here are written in complete sentences. In order to get artifacts for your event, it might be useful to use Google search your event, click images. That way, you can look at newspaper articles, you can look at the response of the government and the National Guard, and you can also look at other things that were taking place during that time period by using the Google search. If you do decide to use something that you found online, be sure that you are not just passing it out to get extra points. It makes a difference when you are actually able to explain the images that you're using or the newspaper articles that you see. Here's an example of an article printed by the Times Magazine. This debuted August 20th, 1965. This happened just 1 month after the Watts riots. The same way I explained this article is how you should explain the artifacts that you're using for your project. For those of you that have misplaced your Black History Month project handout, you can find it on our classroom website at astokesonline.weebly.com. Click the tab that says Black History Month project, and here's all the information that you'll need. Also, you'll find this PowerPoint in a downloadable file. So you can save this to your computer that you're working on and import your information into my PowerPoint document.